Okay, let's talk about some shenanigans. I came on the 8th of July, and I had a discussion around the transfer portal that is open for designated student athletes, when rosters got locked, etc. Let me clarify a few things and let me provide some additional context. First, I indicated that the rosters were locked already. As a practical matter, rosters on revenue generating teams are effectively locked, but they don't actually lock until before the first game of competitive play for the season, or December 1st, whatever comes sooner. Okay, so I was like, the rosters are locked. Where are they going? Technically, that is not correct. So I've clarified that. That was my bad. I should have used better words to describe what I was talking about. So I appreciate the gentleman that challenged me on that and had me take a look at the rules again. Okay, so that's number one. Rosters are not technically locked until the start of play, the day before the start of play, or December 1st, if that is earlier. Okay. Number two, someone else commented that walk-ons can still walk on. So first, it's important to know that you needed to get that designated student athlete tag if you were a walk-on that was, as I describe it, collateral damage in the house settlement. That tag already has to be in place on you. There was 30 days after the settlement where you had to have that tag placed on you. And so I believe that date was July 6th. If you were a former walk-on athlete under the prior regime and you do not have the designated student athlete tag, your ability to move without counting towards roster limits does not exist. That's clear. Okay. So yes, walk-on still can exist technically. Okay. But practically what's happening? For football, whether or not the roster is in, the roster is locked down. Okay. The coaches are not fishing for talent at this point. Practice is starting or getting ready to start. These guys are moving with a team that has already been identified. So for those athletes who are designated student athletes who are entering the portal now, okay, that means that they have certainty that they will not be placed on a roster. That's what it likely means. That's what I hope it means. Okay, that they will not be placed on a roster. And so now they are shopping and they are looking for another place that will put them on the roster before the lock. Okay, so I saw a couple of football players that entered the portal. Those guys were already walk-ons and they had moved to they had transferred or at their existing schools, learned that they will not be placed on the roster. This is my belief, despite having the designated student athlete tag. And so now they are shopping for a home. So it's still a bad look to enter the portal as a designated student athlete in this July 7th to August 5th window. Okay. Unless you've been forced because you understand that you will not be placed on a roster currently. And so you're shopping. Okay. Now, at some point you have to come to peace with yourself about where you are in life, but that's a different issue. Okay. So number one, locks are not formal until the day before the start of play or December 1st. Okay. Got to have them in the system. Number two, practically for certain sports, rosters are locked because coaches are coaching. They're getting ready for seasons. They're not looking for other players. Okay. Now, even though they can still entertain walk-ons, okay, they are unlikely to do so even if they have that tag. Number three is if a designated student athlete enters the portal and this window that is specially designed for them, I am assuming that means that they have been told with clarity that they will not be placed on a roster at the school they're at, despite having that tag and it not counting against the roster limit, and they simply want to go someplace else and have an opportunity. They still have to find a team that is willing to take them given the roster constraints, okay, and where we are in the season. So I don't expect a whole lot of movement for this portal. Now, the good news is those athletes can withdraw themselves from the portal and just stay at the institutions that are currently at. So there is no downside. There's no loss of scholarship. There's no loss of eligibility. There's no loss of anything for designated student athletes that enter this special portal right now because they can withdraw without consequence. So that's my quick review, update and clarification around what's happening with designated student athletes, the special portal designed specifically for them, roster locks, and when schools are moving on. As always, please let me know what you think. If you got a different perspective, love to hear it. I'll come back and give you my further thoughts.